Going on, everybody? Let's go, man. I'm so excited to be here today with everybody. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching now, if you're watching on the replay, if you're watching from America, if you're watching from anywhere in this world, thank you so much for spending an hour of your time just to be here and experiencing all of this greatness and all of these life-changing opportunities and topics and everything that we got going on in the Weekly Dose of Dano program. Thank you so much for being here to experience it. I'm gonna let you guys know last week. Yeah, I'm sorry about last week, man. I was playing a little. Oh, here we go. I knew somebody was gonna say about the hoodie. These hoodies, we're gonna be making more of these hoodies. So keep your eyes out for some Weekly Dose of Dano merch, because you already know. We got to show, like, we know that we're in the Positivity Posse and that you're in the Positivity Posse, but we got to show other people that you're in the Positivity Posse too. And you know what? Shout out to Sebastian Torres too, Lou. You're absolutely right. My boy Seabass, he has his own photography company as well. And he was actually the first person to design these hoodies and actually bring them into life. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too. So last week, you know, I injured my knee. I tweaked my knee a little bit. Let me not even say injured because I don't want to claim that energy. But I tweaked my knee a little bit. And actually, the special guest for today, I don't want to give away the secret sauce, but the special guest for today was actually there when I tweaked my knee as well. And you know, she was able to do healing on it as soon as it happened. And all these stories tie in because the support system that I have with you guys, man, with the Positivity Posse, you guys pour into me every single ounce as much as I pour into you, and you guys don't even understand about all of the outreach and all the messages and all of just the support that you guys constantly bring from day to day. I mean, literally day to day. It's not week to week, show to show. No, it's day to day, hour by hour, really, because there's so many of you out there that are just supporting the vision, and I really appreciate that too. And if there's anything that I can do for you guys, you just let me know and we can make it happen. So, you know, that was the point of that, is like, you know, the amount of support that I've been receiving has been absolutely amazing. And even in the comment section, let's talk about right now, even in the comment section, you guys are blowing it up, saying the hashtag, y'all already know what y'all got to drop. If just in case this is your first time watching, I'll let you know right now. If you're rocking with me right now, just to know that see, look, I'm going so fast and I'm so overloaded, I can't even speak. Just so that I know you're rocking with me and you're loving all of this great content, drop a hashtag Positivity Posse. You guys already beat me to it. I couldn't even. We got a new one over here. Positivity OC. Aussie. All right, I'll take it. Good enough. I know what you meant. David Vardaman. Hello. Lou. Hello. Sherry McQueen. Hello. Everybody. All of you amazing people. Thank you so much for being here for today. This is going to be a really, really interesting episode. I have some stuff written down here for the guests when they come in. The guests had no idea, and you know, it's always like that too. The guests never really have any idea what they're coming on to when they come watch the show. But it's all great things too. And sometimes we get a little stumped, but this person right here, man, yo, you guys are in for a treat. You guys are in for a treat. I'll give you a little hint. Maybe you can guess who the guest is. This guest has been on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform television show before, and she thinks that she's always right and that she is never wrong. Now, look, I got it cracking up. No, I'm just kidding. But she is right a lot of the time. And yeah, I'll go on record to say it, but it's going to be an absolutely amazing show for today. So let's start off with a positive affirmation for today, because when I woke up today, I really wasn't feeling 100%. I'm gonna be honest. Like, my mind was a little bit in a fog, and I was just thinking about so many different things at once as soon as I woke up. So I had to take a minute for myself, meditate, and I actually, I didn't do my positive affirmation for today, but make sure that when you are in like a weird headspace or a spot that you don't want to be, just make sure that you're doing everything that you can to bring in that equal and opposite energy if it's a positive thing. And if you're already in the positive headspace, then that's what I'm talking about. Congratulations to you, because that's where we always want to be. So let's go on with we're going to do a random one for today. I know we usually do them in order, but I don't know. I just feel like a page is going to pop up that it may help somebody or you know what? Here, I like this page, right? All right, here it is. Number 69. There you go for all you adults out there that find that funny. Number 69. My free will is a gift that I put to good use. I always have choices. I will utilize this power, the superpower actually, to take whatever action is most empowering for me in that moment. I'm thankful for my ability to choose happiness. So there you go for today. My free will is a gift that I put to good use. And I firmly believe that everybody makes decisions and has choices, no matter, even it may seem like you're backed into a corner or that you may not see any other way right now, but you always have a choice because I'm about to blow your mind. All right, I heard this quote before. I'm going to share it with you guys. Ready? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at start to change, right? So if you think that, you're living in a bad neighborhood and let's just say your car got broken into and, everything just seems to be going south, south, south because you have so many actions, you have so many events that have happened to you and you think, well, maybe today's just not my day. No. Once you start to find the silver lining in things and you start to look at it from a positive perspective that 1, you have your health, 2, you're alive on this earth, 3, you might have impacted somebody today that you might not, it could have been a complete stranger. You don't know the power that you hold. So when you change the things, your perspective on it and the positive outlook, then you're inviting all of these great ideas, great events, and great opportunities to be able to happen to you. So there you go for today. You have the choice. Happiness is a choice. I believe that. Yes, 100%. And I'm sorry if you don't feel that way, but like I said, we all have our own opinions. We all have our own perspectives. And even if you don't agree with me, drop it in the comments so we can read it on the show. And then you might teach me something new. You know what I mean? I'm not an arrogant man. I don't think that I know it all. And that's why I have you guys as a part of the Positivity Posse to help keep each other in check and to help support each other as well. So now y'all already know. All right. Hit number 2 for the guest for today is that this person is the camera person that always helps me with these interviews and is able to bring this great content for you guys that you all love, these legendary interviews like you guys have said before in the past. She has a huge hand in helping making this happen. I can't give you all the secret sauce, but you already know. Let's get right into these interviews. There's this interview, I think, not to discredit any other one that we've ever done, but I think this one is my favorite because this one was kind of a roller coaster of emotions. There was one question. The question you already know all stays the same. You're going to see it as we come about. The first guy that we talked to was just woof with positive energy. He was like me, basically. And now I see what you guys see when it comes to positive energy, and it can be, flooding you with it because that's the goal. That's what we really want to do. So we had positive, we had very serious ones. I threw in some jokes in there for you guys. And I'm going to tell you this too. All right, we're going to start it right now. I had to get this person back because they got me on their show and they call me slipping. They just call me slipping. I'm going to show you, but yeah, so here we go. This is one of my favorite ones. You're really going to enjoy this one. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dano, television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV, and you already know what we're doing for today. We're going around the streets of Philly, asking everybody the questions that you need the answers to. Let's get it. Sir, what's your name?
My name is Ja Toller. People call me Ja or Fear.
If there was one thing that you can tell your former self, a piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, listen, man, I'm big on staying weird, staying different. Right now, I got the Jean-Michel Basquiat, who's one of the legendary, iconic, graffiti artist, and he was big on just staying weird, being yourself. I would tell a younger Jock, 10-year-old Jock, continue to do what you're doing. You know, fuck what the naysayers say. If people doubt you, they don't love you, be you. Because at the end, like what they say, you're only crazy until it's done, and then you're genius, right? So I say just keep being different. Because when you're different, it stands out. If I came here to be like everybody else, I'd be forgotten. Yep. If I be me, I'm gonna be a vessel for the world, and the world gonna love and respect it. So be yourself. I would tell myself, just keep going, man. Don't give up and follow your own path. It's okay not to follow the pack. Be your own self and watch how great you'll be if you just do you and be you and be the best. Because we're all different and unique in our own way, but it's up to us to make the most of it, man.
What's your name, miss?
Antoinette.
Antoinette, I'm Dano. It's nice to meet you.
You as well.
Thank you. So, if there's one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
I would give my younger self to be patient. Take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush to grow up. There's no rush to do a lot of different things.
What's your name, miss?
Sarah.
Sarah, if there's one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
I would have studied and tried to be the very best parent I could be.
Specifically mention the family portion and the parent aspect. Why does that resonate with you? Or why do you want to speak on that?
Because there was so much of the unknown when I was a parent.
Sir, what's your name?
Felix.
If there's one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
I'm thinking, you're making me think. Because it's something that I haven't been asked. Alright. Don't stay quiet. Don't stay shut. Talk. Find somebody to talk to. Because sometimes I stay quiet and I shut so many things up inside of me that it's crazy. I feel like I'm lost now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, stay on track, go to school, go to college, and give it your best.
Sir, what's your name?
My name's John.
John?
You're looking you or there, where?
Wherever
Anywhere.
you want, wherever you feel comfortable. If there's a piece of advice that you can give to your younger self, what would it be?
Ooh, don't sweat the little stuff because it's all you're gonna figure it out in the long run. I think nowadays there's a lot of pressure and anxiety around knowing exactly what to do all the time, 100%, or having a fully fleshed out plan for your life and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And it almost never works out that way, in a good way. So you're gonna have opportunities that are gonna go great, opportunities that are gonna go poorly, and just don't put so much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out right now. You'll get there.
Awesome. So everybody, that's the segment for today, and we got a bunch of great answers, but you already know I got to give you my spin on it. If I would give one piece of advice to my younger self, it would always be to follow your heart. And it may not even make sense. It can be the craziest idea that you can possibly think of. If you operate from a place of love and understanding and making sure that you're trusting your intuition, that means the result of everything that's going to happen in turn has to come from a place of love. So you're just going to receive that back. You know, don't just be wild out there. If your heart says to go try heroin, I'm going to say to stay away from that. But make sure that you're doing it in a calculated way and that you're taking the right risk, because I firmly believe that we know what we need to do. And there's a reason that it's coming into your mind. So I hope everybody has a great day, and thank you for watching the segment. Peace. So everybody, that was the segment for this week. And like I said, the answers that I got were ranging from positive to, some people like you said, you hope that he finds his focus right here. Me too. I actually had after the cameras ended and everything was put to the side, I had to talk to him real quick just to help him say, you're not lost. I firmly believe that everybody is where they're meant to be right at that exact moment. Because if you don't have those events leading to where you are right now, one, it doesn't make the person that you are with all of those, all of the great. You guys got me distracted by that love. I just felt that energy. But yeah, so if you don't have all of those events leading up to where you are right now, one, you won't meet the same type of people that you're intended to meet. Let's say you're supposed to be in that position for somebody to help you out or extend an opportunity or whatever the case may be. And then number two, you won't know the lessons that come with going through the adversity. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I heard this quote before too, and it says that, not every family, like you can have a rich family, and that's only going to last for a certain amount of time, because great times don't build strong men. It's through the adversity and the challenges that you got to go through in order to say, yo, I really want to go to the top, and I'm trying to get my grind on right now. So it's all about moving forward into that, that next stratosphere and that next level. But yeah, the segment was absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for saying that. And that too, divine timing. And Sebastian, I gave you a shout out earlier, so thank you, man, for the sweatshirt again. Make sure that you're dropping your answer to this question too, because we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, just to make sure that you're getting your opinions and your voices heard too. David Vardaman, the man right here, he puts the man in Vardaman. I always tell him that. Communicate and share your great self. Give it your best great moment. Yeah, I was not expecting that answer, and it's like, you gotta help certain people understand that nothing is by accident, and that the comeback is way greater than a setback as well. So I hope you're not yawning back there. Oh, look, she's releasing right now. All right, so we're going to bring on our special guest for today, but you know what? First, we're going to do a quick commercial break just to hear a word from all of our sponsors. But by the time we come back, I hope you're ready, because we're not going to give you an introduction. You're just going to come back on the show after a word from our sponsors. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with some of this more amazing, super, fantastic, life-changing content. Let's get it.
Except I received this insight about a title called Prisoner of War. The book.
Well, look who it is. Yes, everybody, it is the Oracle of Apollo. This is our special guest for today. Oracle, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. I know you have so much going on, and I kind of want to talk about that too without giving away too much information, just how you kind of prepare for everything that you have going on. But let me tell you, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your hard work, all of your effort, and all of your words too, and the Positivity Posse here as well. So if you're watching this right now, please spend something with Oracle. Let it be a pal, let it be a star, diamond, fire, whatever it is. Just blow up the comments and show her the respect that she deserves. So, Oracle.
That camera that I have to carry around for this man is very heavy.
Oh, we can't talk about that. I didn't Yeah, well, you know what? That's not too heavy. It's actually the one that we're using right now. It's about 5 pounds. I forgot you are 4'2", 72 pounds. So I guess.
Oh, you just took like 10 inches out of me. My heart, man. Woo.
Oh man. So Oracle, we got so much to discuss today.
Yes.
And one of the things we're going to start out with the topic of illusions, because we're having the phone call earlier. And I was like, wow, if I'm going through this right now myself, there's somebody else out there that's probably experiencing the same thing. And I want to just help those people that may be having a certain illusion in their head, and just kind of like the breakdown of it. Okay, so let's start it off by saying this. There's so many different ways that other people, and people in general, might build up an illusion, right? So it's to keep ourselves safe. And I'm going to give you 3 top reasons why I think people build illusions, and then I want to hear about your reasons too.
Sure.
So I firmly believe that we kind of tell ourselves we feed ourselves lies in order to keep ourselves safe, because we don't want to feel attacked and we don't want to be put out of our comfort zone. Number one. Number two, when it's the relationship sense, I believe that we tell ourselves illusions because I do believe that everybody flashes red flags, whether it's very in the beginning of the relationship, in the middle of it, or in the end. But we have this illusion that we choose to ignore it. So then when it blows up, it's like, whoa, what happened? And then number 3 is validation. If we tell ourselves false narratives, then we're like, okay, well, this proves that I'm right. And, who doesn't want to be right? Everybody wants to be right. So would you be able to talk about some ideas on why we feed ourselves illusions?
Yeah, let's talk about first of all what an illusion is.
Mm-hmm.
So you gave your points on what you felt like where they stem from, but an
Mm-hmm.
illusion is basically like you said, a narrative or a story or a belief system that is created or fabricated in whatever limited perspective, limited programming that you may have. It may be subconscious as well. So it's not something that you have to consciously do, because if somebody has a lot of trauma from their childhood, illusions are created in as a self-preservation tactic, and it can be an autonomous process without their conscious effort or recognition that they're creating this wall. And like an example would be, I had an extreme heartbreak. I'm never going to let anyone get that close to me again. I'm going to put a wall up. And you hear people say that all the time. I'm going to put a wall up. And what they don't realize is that wall, there's a quote or a statement. It goes, that which we resist persists. Okay. So that wall is not serving you. It's not self-service. It is a wall that is not allowing you to receive what you actually need, because it's a wall created by fear, created by division, and created by the illusion of separation, and the illusion that love equals pain. Okay. So this is what illusions are. And we can hold on to them for days, weeks, months, years, or, entire lifetimes, depending where we are at in the Earth School process.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I think that kind of hit the nail right on the head, because, everybody has their own definition of illusion. So I'm glad that you were able to really dissect and say from you what you believe an illusion is. Now, if we're talking about why they start, now we should talk about how we should take them away. And one of the things that I think of is always being unbiased. All right. Now, that takes a lot of nobility and to be humble and to say, you know what, if I'm wrong, I'm going to look at it from all different angles. Right. Now, when you have that accountability piece for yourself, then you're able to say, well, I can see your point. I understand. I'm sorry if I offended you. And then you're able to move on and not hold on to that resentment. Do you have any other ideas or strategies as far as tearing down maybe any false illusions or walls that you just built?
Right. First of all, I want to say you're a good listener, because me and Dano had this conversation this morning. So I see that he retains. So in regards to, for just a little bit of feedback for everybody who doesn't actually know me, this is what I do for a living. I help people evolve through their emotional traumas, through the energetic body. And then this is released. So this has given me about 10 years of hands-on practice and learning why you guys hold on to the things that you hold on to. And so when we get to the point of when it's time to face our illusions, this takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of courage. So it's admirable for anyone who's willing to go through the challenge of self-discovery, because it requires you to sit with feelings and hold space for feelings that are not comfortable. It requires you to really face the facts. And I'm going to tell you right now that the majority of my clients are 3 or 4 times older than I am. And so there is this, the age is not relevant in this, is my point. So it's important to recognize when something is not working in your life. If you hear yourself, we'll use relationships because I feel like this is in regards to what me and Dana were talking about earlier. When you're in a relationship, long-term, short-term, it doesn't matter. It could be platonic or professional. And you keep finding that you're hitting the same walls. Like, let's say there's a lack of communication. And, well, why don't you communicate with me? Why don't you communicate with me? But you can insert any pattern or any situation that you're going through. Just recognize that it's a repeat pattern. If you see that repeat pattern and you see that your partner is not changing, okay? And I'm using the air quotes because we get into this thing where it's like, well, there's the outward, right? There's no responsibility. There's you. You are making me XYZ. The moment you catch yourself saying you make me XYZ, you're already in a trap. You're in an ego trap because now you're projecting outwardly something that you should have taken accountability for in any regard. And you might say, but Oracle, if they're talking, if they're not communicating effectively, how is that my fault? Okay, so when you first began talking to this person, you didn't put a boundary up. And then you continue to not reinforce the boundary. And then at some point, you either become silent or you become overactive where you're yelling. So you, in turn, are also taking a part of that dynamic of the non-communication. Are we following?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm fine. And then, one thing that we want to say, even before, let's take it one step further to getting into a relationship or anything, we got to make ourselves happy because we're not going to find anybody else that are going to be able to plug in those holes and try to fill them for us. Now, there was a distinction that I just heard right here. And
Yes.
I use the word accountability. No, wait. Well, I just got it. All right. So you use the word responsibility and I use the word accountability. Now, is there a fine line there? Do they mean the exact same thing? What's the difference between accountability and responsibility?
Responsibility is something that you are holding. Accountability is the fact that you have it in your hands, in your possession. It's coming from within. Accountability is self. Responsibility is external. So I could be responsible for not letting that plant die while you're away from your house and I'm plant sitting, but I had to be accountable to arrive on time. So one is like a state of being and then one is like a state of doing.
Wow. And there you go. So if you guys had the same question that I had, there you go. We got an answer. Like I told you, Oracle, like I'm going to say it again on record. You're really not wrong. Like the majority.
Yeah, I heard you. Okay, listen, I'm a person. All right. I'm a person. I could be wrong when I'm wrong, but when I'm channeling, I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was going to say from my experience, and so
that's why I get paid the big bucks.
Now, let's talk about the purpose that they serve, right? If we think that it's all bad, and I feel like when it comes to certain illusions, I mean, even though we may trick ourselves, let's just say for the positive, right? If we think that everything's going to go, we go into a segment intention is the best way I can describe it. If we go into something before it even happens and we think that the best outcome is going to happen and we train our mind and we're throwing our energy to say, well, that's an illusion too. I mean, an illusion it doesn't really necessarily have to be negative. So what are some of the benefits or what purpose do illusions serve, or do they not have any purpose at all?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. So you're saying dysfunction. That's what you're saying. Okay, here, let's clarify. Okay, let's clarify because I hear what you're saying, but it's actually not married to the way you think. There is something called toxic positivity. All right. And so people usually attribute that to my world because they think my world is woo-woo when it's actually quantifiable. So let's talk about this toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is I'm going to hold on to a belief that something would change regardless of the circumstances that are around me. And what I mean by that is I believe that the person that is beating the hell out of me is going to see my worth someday. And they're going to know and they're going to love me. So I'm going to stay strong because inside of me, I'm believing that this person is capable of change. Although the external is showing that person's not, they're not seeing a therapist. They're not trying to discover themselves. They're not actively working on it. This is a toxic positivity, okay? So there's definitely a difference when you are having an expectation to intend and to motivate yourself and to inspire yourself to be motivated, because inspiration comes before motivation. So I'm just clarifying. Between that and not wanting to deal with reality and creating an illusion again, right? To protect yourself from the reality of what is actually happening around you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So thank you for clarifying that. Now, I know you feel this too, but I've been feeling a lot of energy coming in, whether it's from the comments, whether it's from all the.
When you said that earlier, as soon as you said it, I had turned on and I was cracking up. And you're like, I got distracted. And I just laughed. I was like, yeah, my bad. I should have waited.
What? Did you do the heart link? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did do the heart link.
So when you go back to watch the replay, if anybody watches it, you can use that too, just to show, like, it is true. I had no idea what you were doing, but I felt something. Now, I think you have to put a little, if you guys didn't already know, Oracle also has their own television show on the E360 television network, Divine Encounters. And there's a segment that she does on there when it comes to the collective clearing that I wanted you to come on here and help the people understand or even experience, something that having your DNA on the show. So would you be able to lead us in what is it? The energy collective clearing?
Energy clearing, yes. And I can lead everybody to that. So what we're going to do now is going to do 1 minute of breathing. And the purpose of this is because everybody is going through stressors as their day goes on. And it's important to find center and a balance point or a still point. Some people call it the flow point as well within your day. So what we're going to do is set an intention. What do you want us to set an intention for today, Dano?
All right. I want everybody, the intention is that a deep thing that we want to manifest, that it comes closer than the target date.
Okay, so basically we need to calibrate so that we're a vibrational match for that which we want to manifest.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
Because the other way was chasing. We want to attract it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you know what? And that reminds me of something I heard on a song earlier. He said, I had to lace my sneakers to chase the blessings I was getting. And I said, no, bro. The sneakers already came with no laces. Don't lace up to chase nothing. As a matter of fact, the blessing came with a new pair of sneakers and you put them on your feet. Like, calibrate. Okay, so we're going to calibrate. So everybody, I'm inviting you now to have good posture. If you're laying, just make sure you're erect, like straight, and have your feet firmly on the ground, palms facing up, because this is the receptive position. And we're going to go ahead, and since I can't see your timer, okay, I see it now. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and everyone close your eyes for me right now. Take a breath in and just let it go. There's no need to stare at the screen. Just allow yourself to be in this moment and just breathe in. We're breathing in calibration. So this might come to you as a light or a sensation or a knowing or a heat. And then exhaling everything that is not this moment, what you have to do later, tomorrow, what's happening in the room, the pets, the sound. Let life happen around you and just breathe in calibration. Feel yourself falling into alignment. Feel your body soften. Feel tension leave. Feel yourself relax. On the next natural exhale, giving permission to create space within the body. One more in-breath here, validating our existence, our worthiness. And then we're going to go ahead and just have a sense of gratitude for who we are and where we are in this moment. And we're going to bring that left palm in front of your heart and the right palm in front of your heart to touch one another. And bow to yourself. Namaste, and honor your practice. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the here and the now, but please do not stand. You could be blissful and or dizzy. And then let me know in the comment section below what you're feeling.
Hey, no, let me know in the comment section below what you're feeling. That's what I got to do. That's, you know what I mean?
My bad. Wrong show.
No, that's what I was going to say. You went into show mode. So like I said, that is some of the things that we talk about on the, some of the things that you talk about. I've been on there too, but on the Divine Encounters E360 television show. And I'm going to share with you what I just saw. And I don't know what this is supposed to mean or if this has any meaning to it at all. When I closed my eyes, and you saw I closed my eyes. I didn't see anything. Like, I saw the same screen. I saw the squares. I saw the camera. It wasn't even like I closed my eyes at all. It was kind of like if I had transparent like eyelids. It's the best way I can describe it. Any meaning to that, or am I just crazy?
No, you're not crazy. That happens to me often, actually. And you're developing. You're constantly developing. You have no choice really at this point. And yeah, that I call that X-ray vision. No, no, seriously though, when your third eye starts to open, like for the first 2 years, I would do readings with my blindfold on, but my eyes would watch the people walk through the room, and people were like, it was like you were watching me move even though you're completely blindfolded. And it was like because I could see through the blindfold, not like with my physical eyes, but with my third eye. So that's what it sounds like you were experiencing there.
Oh wow! Like I said, I've never really felt that before. So there you go. There's a
Woohoo.
first time for everything. And like we
Yes.
said, wow! If you let us know what you experience, if you experience anything, and we got to move on to the next topic, and it has directly to do. And I think I asked you this before, or you might have covered this already with one of your social medias. But it's a great question, and for anybody that may be a naysayer out there and didn't believe what you did just worked, how is it possible for you to do this collective energy clearing when we're over the internet, we're not anywhere near each other? How does that energy work?
Okay, so the idea behind energy is that energy, all energy is matter. It has mass. Your thought has mass. Your voice has frequency, has vibrational frequency. So it all has mass behind it. And I've been teaching Reiki for 10 years, and energy basically has no time, no space, and no boundary. So it's irrelevant. I have clients here, all the way across the world, Egypt, India, which we do a coaching and a clearing in every call, and they feel it as if I was right next to them, 2 inches away from them. So it's not relevant. Distance is not relevant in energy. The same way the internet is all over the world. It's the same thing. Maybe 100 years ago, people would have said this was magic. And now with the beginnings of the new earth and the commonalities of these modalities popping up and the open sharing of them, it's just going it's just going to allow more people to interact with that energy, to feel it more for themselves. It is cumulative, and I don't expect anybody to really experience a lot on their first time go. However, it's not unlikely that you wouldn't feel anything on your first time go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can say that with my practice with meditation. I mean, first time I did it, I actually had, I don't even know if I was, because I was consuming like weird content, but I tried to meditate and then I went to sleep exactly right after, maybe like 30 minutes after meditating. And I felt like I opened up this portal because I had a bunch of nightmares. And I was like, this sucks. I'm never meditating again. It didn't even work when I tried it. And then as time went on, I kind of compared it to like going to the gym. It's like a muscle. The more that you do it, the stronger that you get with it.
Sure. And when you're opening yourself to meditation, you're opening yourself up to the silence and the things within the silence that have been suppressed and neglected and haven't been heard or seen in the light. So that can be scary. That's why I said earlier, it takes courage to do the deep inner work. And and it sounds like you're pushing through the fears.
Oh yeah. And that's always the goal, but it's really hard because nobody wants to face their fears. Something that happened maybe 20 years ago, it could have been the most traumatic thing they've ever experienced, and nobody ever wants to revisit that. Do you have any tips for somebody?
Yeah, the thing is that we think of it that we have to revisit it as a visual experience. When I work with people, I release that from the physical body without having to remember the physical experience. But the body remembers it, and then you feel unburdened from it. So there's so many ways to go back without having to re-traumatize or re-trigger yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why a lot of times, and I'm not saying it before you guys come at my jugular, talk therapy is not for everybody, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is invoking and renewing a painfulness that for many people, which I've seen, like I have a doctor client who went to talk therapy for 15 years. And in 4 sessions, she says she got more out of those 4 sessions than the 15 years of talk therapy that she had. Because every time you share something about your past that's negative, you are giving it power.
Mm-hmm.
I can't express that enough. Sometimes, and I'm a culprit of this. Sometimes we want to share with people, especially when we're new people, a lot about our past. But when you're sharing the negative parts about your past, you're reaffirming that emotional energy into the cellular memory, that trauma that is created inside of you. You're reaffirming it, you're giving it new life, you're feeding it. So there's no need to ever share what is already from the past unless you haven't claimed your power back from that past and you need to vocalize it. So, there's certain traumas that we just hold from shame. If it's a shame trauma, then vocalizing it automatically gets you your power back. So just really, but not everything. That's not the medicine for everyone, for sure.
Yeah, of course. And to validate your point, even though you don't need validation, I'm not an expert on this, and I've never seen a therapist, like a talk therapist, but I've had conversations with a plethora of people. Seriously, it's been countless people that all say the same thing. They say, oh, you go in, as soon as that minute is up, they say, okay, time's up. Now it's time to go see the next client. And even though that they've gone for that hour, however long it may have been, they felt like it's always the same questions over and over. And it was actually in the movie, the Joker movie. When I went to go see that in theaters, it's kind of like, I know it's just a movie and it may be fake, but they said that there were a lot of correlations between that movie and what it's like to actually experience that. And now this is kind of going back to what you just said, but moving forward at the same time. So when it comes to reclaiming your power, right? And you have an experience that you had in the past, and you just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to deal with this person anymore. You're getting the hard cut. You just got the guillotine. But you were telling me earlier that that's not really a good practice because that can lead to a cycle. You're just going to experience that same situation all over and over and over again. Can you talk about, the importance of going back to healing the wound and closing that portal versus just leaving it open?
Okay. So as you go through the self-healing process, you get more courageous. And Daniel hears me say this all the time. Like I've gotten to a point where for most people that might be like, wow, you're really that direct. And I'm like, yes, I'm really that direct. And that's because there's just no time to waste here. So you don't want to leave a process. It be with a coworker, a loved one. You know how you give your job that 2 weeks notice? That is a closure time. All right. So if there's something that you just can't deal with this person doesn't listen to you, this person, give whatever reason you want to give, right? But then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to ghost them. And I'm going to dip out. You're going to find that same character in your life once again, because basically you scripted before incarnating the lesson that person is meant to teach you, and ducking out on it prematurely is basically offsetting the stage of your life, you being the co-creator and the main person of that direction, that experience. And you're here for soul mastery. Soul mastery cannot occur until you have integrated the lesson fully, which is the difference between emotional intelligence and emotional maturity. Okay. Me and Dan are talking about that earlier. Yeah. So you have to face whatever it is. If it has power over you, and you will know if something has power over you, it makes you feel small. It makes you feel unseen. It makes you feel like the victim. That is when it makes you feel quiet. Okay. Even if somebody is yelling at the top of their lungs and you've been silent for a year and you finally just say no, and then you walk away from the experience, you claimed your power back. You have to do whatever it was that they were holding you down with. Shame, fear, smallness, abandonment, etc., unlovability, insert whatever here. You have to make sure that you recognize your worth in the moment, express it, and then you can move on. Now hear that, because I'm not saying you have to convince them. I'm not saying that they have to accept it. I'm not saying that they have to have belief in you, but you have to have enough belief in yourself to recognize when you have to be the peaceful warrior. The peaceful warrior does not allow somebody to just come and just walk all over them and chop them up and mince them up. That is not it at all. Even the Buddha says, you don't let the scorpion come and bite you. You move, okay? You move. And this is what it's imperative to recognize, that you need to be your own defender, and that is not okay for people to put you down, and it's not okay for you to take it, and it's not okay for you to just be silent. You are your spiritual warrior, and you have to be your own defender.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that too. I mean, as you already know, and no, we didn't talk about it earlier, but as you already know, because I feel like that's everything that we've been talking about. Oh, we talked about this earlier. Like I said, this is all unscripted. Whatever comes out, you channel everything.
We just have really good talks. That's all. Me and Dano, we really get into a lot of questions about life, and it's a really good dynamic. I got a great partner here.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much. Why do you think I brought you on? So, trust me, I feel that too. When you were saying, sometimes you can let certain people or certain events happen to you, and then you just grow silent because one, you just don't feel like dealing with that anymore. And then two, you start to question, well, maybe this person may be right, or where's my power? So that's one of the key things that I really want to drive home too is I experienced it within my own self recently, is to always make sure that you have the power and you are not necessarily, you are in control of yourself, and don't let anybody walk all over you, because you are a special being. You're here for a reason. You have goals, you have dreams, and not everybody is going to put themselves in your shoes, take away all of their armor, take off all of their ideas, all of their past traumas, all of their beliefs, then go to step into your shoes and then try to see from your perspective. And you don't really owe anybody that explanation as well. So, thank you for saying that too. And all right, this is a loaded question, and we only have 10 minutes. But one of the things that you've always talked about that I've never really, not that I never really understood, but this is a lot. So when did you come to the idea that we script? Because I asked you this question. You talked about it before, and you said we script before we become incarnates of what we are on this earth. We script what we want to happen to us. And then I asked you, I said, well, why would somebody want cancer? Why would somebody want to die by drowning? Why would somebody want to be homeless? So at what point did you really come to understand that we script what we come to do before this earth?
I came to the point to realize that we script that when I was completely disabled and had to have somebody wash my hair, make my food, feed me, pick up a cup, give me a bath. Okay. It is easy that when you are in a cycle of something chronic, dangerous, hurtful, to become a victim. Okay. We need to be able to look past that and see what control we have left. And even in my situation, when I had no control over my body, my autonomy, I had to be picked up and moved. What I had control of was my breath. What I had control of was my stillness inside me. And that was the only thing I could control. Okay. So that's why I started to go within, because I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't even have enough focus to listen to a movie because there was, I had cognitive issues. So conversations were very small, short, and I would whisper because I didn't have enough energy to be able to speak louder than this. And sometimes I couldn't speak at all. So, you have to find what you can control. And Esther Hicks talks about the things that we script before we enter into our lives. You guys can check her out. And maybe in one lifetime, you had the silver spoon experience where you got everything that you ever wanted and you needed more challenge in your life. Maybe one lifetime you were so healthy, but you were so self-focused that you never learned how to have compassion for other people. So it really is on what you're here to learn now, and how that develops. How that develops is one thing. But ultimately, if you guys were to be really honest about your past right now, most of you would say, if you're an awakened being, most of you would say, I would go again through everything I went through to become who I've become today. And in a heartbeat, you would just be like, that's who made me. That's what made me who I am. So that's the same thing with the scripting before incarnating into the planet.
Definitely.
Oh, I know you do.
That's why as soon as you said Esther Hicks, I don't know if you saw my face. I said, oh, I already know who's going to comment that one right there.
Yeah, Esther Hicks.
This is David Vardaman. I love the fact that Oracle states that each person needs their own medicine, claiming one's power back. And we only have a few minutes left on the segment. Do you have any pieces of advice when it comes to claiming your own power back?
When it comes to claiming your own power back, if you need to, rehearse it. Talk to somebody neutral. Write it down in a journal. What is it that you're actually afraid of? And what happens if that fear actually came to be? Then what? You'll be surprised on how resilient of an answer that you bring in to that question would be. Well, if I lost my house, then I would X, Y, Z, And speaking of claiming your power back, I will be in Austin, Texas. I got to give myself a shout out. I'll be in Austin, Texas at the end of next month for Medicine of the People. And we're going to be hosting a lot of different medicines. It's going to be a weekend long event festival. You guys can find it here on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, Medicine for the People. And I will be doing spiritual interventions this month. So I hope you guys can check me out.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I can vouch for that too. Like I said, the stuff that I've seen that we've experienced, whether it's going to film or if I just go over it, just, chop it up and just to have a fun there, whether you're doing the energy healing, all of this stuff, you are the real deal. And I don't care what I don't care what they say about you. You're always good in my book. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Brian.
No, I mean, seriously.
Oh, wait, let's talk about your knee. Let's talk about your knee when you were getting your session.
All right. So what do you want to talk about?
What happened when I put my hands on your knee?
Oh, I felt it. I felt all like these, like heat is the best way that I can describe it. I felt heat coming out of the knee as soon as it happened, because it happened twice actually. Because remember, as soon as the knee happened, you were there, and it was in that moment. I was like, I don't know what the heck is going on right now, but thank you so much for doing it. And I just knew in that moment that it was all going to be okay. It's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. And then when you did it the second time, I believe, what was it, a few days after?
Yeah.
Because the game was on Wednesday, and I think I went over on Sunday.
Like 4 days or 5 days.
4 days after, I still felt the same thing as well. I felt more heat coming out of that knee, well, out of my right knee. And I was like, wow, like this stuff really works. But you have to go in with an open mind. And there's things that have happened during those sessions too, not even related to the knee. I remember the first time, when I went over, it was just the energy, just the clearing, and just to make sure all the chakras were balanced. And I was like, wow, you asked me, you said, okay, well, what happened? What did you feel? And this is going to be a real big thing here. So I was like, yeah, I was so confident. I was like, yeah, I know what you did. Like, you walked away from the table for a few seconds and you just sat back and you were just watching. But it sounded like you were so far away, but I still felt hands on me. And what you told me was that wasn't you. That was the angels in that moment as well. So when I heard about stuff like that, and you remember the flute that was playing when we were walking back from the recording, and it was as loud.
Wait, hold on. Let's go to this flute. Hold on, guys. I live in the hood. Let me tell you how I live in the hood. Here, you will hear things in my neighborhood: screaming, rap music, bachata or merengue, salsa.
Yeah.
But you will not hear Indian flute music.
Yeah, it was playing from the sky. And I don't care. I know that may sound ridiculous, but I don't care what you think, because I was there, and there was Indian flute music playing in the hood in the sky. All right.
Yeah.
So
it was loud.
But all of that stuff is to really show that, like, once you open up your mind and once you're open to receiving these ideas and energies that are beyond this world, they really are there. And like I said, thank you so much for teaching that. And then here we go. We have a question for you. Well, this was in comment. Sherry McQueen left their course, highly recommended. And here we go. What are your March appointments for your Reiki sessions? Well,
March appointments for Reiki sessions is very limited, because I'll be doing, I'm leaving tomorrow to South Carolina to film the meeting of my biological grandfather meeting my mom, who's her biological father, Texas this month. And I'm doing readings at the Awaken Expo, CHE.com. I'm doing a special for the whole weekend, 19/20. So if you want a reading or a session with me, come to the expo. It's online. And then April, I will be taking physical appointments again.
All right, there you go. So look out for Oracle of Apollo. And that was another thing that we didn't even talk about, the Oracle. What does that even mean, Oracle? You know what? We got a few minutes. We got 2 minutes. Go.
Yeah, the short rundown of the Oracle of Apollo is that one day, this is short. In my illness, I was awoken literally by the Greek deity Apollo. And I know how that sounds. Trust me, I've had a lot of years of the tick. Okay. But he woke me up, and through a process, I regained my memories of my past life, which I have, and gave me the gift of prophecy, sight, and healing. So I go around the country and the world, just popping up and making changes in people's lives. Oh. And that brings me to a quote that I love, that there's only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and the other is as though everything is a miracle.
There you go. Boom.
That's the quote I'm dropping off today.
Yep, and that's what we're going to leave you off with for today. So, Oracle, like I said, thank you so much for coming on today and dropping those, I would say golden nuggets, but those are like gold mines right there. Because once you go to learn about this information, then you'll learn something else, and then it leads you down another avenue. So like I said, it's really mine, but you just really opened up the gates for us, and you opened up the, this is actually the, it's funny that you use this exact one. This is the one that I have, this is what I have you saved under. So maybe you should look into that. I don't know what that means, but yeah, once you open up those doors, just keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And this is some of the stuff that it takes lifetimes to learn. So thank you for coming on today and sharing everything that, well, not a fraction of everything that you know. Thank you for both pouring into us. Thank you guys in the Positivity Posse for coming on and to just pour right back into us and to keep the engagement going, to keep the conversations going. Next week we have Wally Green for a part 2 because he's also going to be at the Power We event. I'm going to be speaking at the Power We event. Or what are you going to be doing over there?
I'm going to be giving you guys angel experiences hands on.
There you go.
At the Power We event. I'm bringing all the energy. I'm bringing the heat.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna have a fire going basically because I'm gonna be bringing that heat. Oracle's gonna be bringing that heat. Everybody's gonna be bringing that heat. So I hope to see you guys over there at the Power We. I'll be speaking over there. I'm gonna be the co-MC on the main stage and just making sure everybody has a wonderful, great, super fantastic, fabulous experience. So thank you guys for being here for today. You guys are all awesome. Come back next week, Wally Green Part 2. That's going to be a really great episode. And I hope everybody has a super, super great weekend. And I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose with Dano. Peace.